Are you listening?
Welcome to the Nerf Report. My name is Brian. Thank you so much for joining us this week. We have a lot to talk about. Apex Legends has announced the return of their Hollow Days in-game event. According to new reports, Square Enix has yet to break even on Marvel Avengers. PlayStation has confirmed that the PS5 is officially the biggest console launch in the company's history. And according to a QA tester working on the game, Cyberpunk 2077 will have over 175 hours of gameplay. But despite all of that, for this week's episode, I gotta be honest, I don't really have anything pertinent to talk about. Nothing earth-shattering or groundbreaking happened this week, so I figured let's leave it up to chance and dust off the old Nerf 5000 and let that decide what this week's episode's about. So without further ado, fire up the Nerf 5000! Subscription services. The video game industry is filled with subscription services, and it genuinely feels like any chance that a company gets to make money off of their game, they immediately throw a subscription at it. PlayStation Plus? Subscription! Ubisoft Plus? Subscription! Xbox Game Pass? Subscription! Stadia Pro? Subscription! Insert random game here, Battle Pass? Subscription! And the point that I'm trying to get to is, depending on where you game and how you play, it's extremely easy to find yourself paying for 1, 2, 3, maybe 4, okay, you caught me, 5 subscriptions at a time. Whatever you do, don't tell my wife. And you see, these subscriptions are very clever in how they hook you in. Take Xbox Live and PlayStation Plus. These two subscriptions are required to play many of the multiplayer games found on their respective platforms, and both services cost $9.99 a month, despite the fact that playing multiplayer games with friends is free on competitive platforms like PC and Google Stadia. And to distract you from this glaring inconvenience, both companies provide free video games to subscribers each month to make you feel like you're getting a good deal. Because what better way to diffuse a bad situation than by giving someone something for free? Hey, you're ripping me off! We are so sorry that you feel that way, but in the meantime, how about Assassin's Creed Odyssey? Wow, that's a great deal. And then you have subscriptions like Game Pass, which offer you a massive library of video games for a low monthly cost, also known as the Netflix of gaming. However, the reality you face with Netflix-like subscription services is that gamers are often paying for games that the majority of them never even touch. But then we come to services that are kind of in between both of those subscriptions, like Stadia Pro, for example. For $9.99 a month, the service offers free video games every single month, an existing library of games to play, along with premium features like 4K gameplay. So with all of these different services and platforms, I thought it would be extremely beneficial, especially with the year ending, to take a look at the last 11 months of these services and break down which service offered the best value for gamers. And look, I get it, this is a very subjective thing to analyze. For me, some services might benefit me more than most other gamers. So please, don't just take my word for it. In fact, let me know your personal experiences down in the comment section down below. But to get things started, let's talk about the Netflix of gaming subscription model. Like Xbox Game Pass is home to over 100 games, and PlayStation Now is home to over 800 games. And quite frankly, they should be applauded for that. However, if you were to say that you played each of these games from start to finish and completed a game every 3 days, it would take you nearly 1 year to play every single game in the Xbox Game Pass library. And for PlayStation Now, its existing library would take you nearly 7 years to complete. And on the surface level, that's completely fine. The idea that for $9.99 a month I have 7 years worth of games to play is awesome. But with these services having Netflix-like business models, games are often cycling in and out of the library, ensuring that if a game leaves that you haven't had the chance to play, or maybe you're midway through actually beating the game, the only way to play it moving forward is to buy the game outright, which kind of defeats the purpose of getting the subscription to begin with. But that being said, I do think it should be pointed out that Xbox Game Pass also includes every first-party Xbox game, so subscribers will have access to games like Halo Infinite, Sea of Thieves, Gears 5, or even Minecraft, which admittedly is an awesome deal. Like for $9.99 a month, you have access to every Xbox exclusive that launches in a year. And if Xbox were to launch 3 new games at a $60 value, Xbox Game Pass would save you over $60 a year. Now, flip side to that coin is that Xbox and Microsoft have a very checkered past of launching multiple exclusives in a calendar year. So in reality, you might have a year where you only receive 1 exclusive game. However, the service does offer an upgraded version called Xbox Game Pass Ultimate for $14.99 a month. And that subscription includes things like Xbox Live, access to Project xCloud, and EA Play. Which, EA Play is another bag of worms that we will have to get into in a completely different video. So if you were to compare Xbox Game Pass to PlayStation Now and rank them, I feel like you would need to break it into 3 different categories: library size, value, and cost. And from a library size perspective, PlayStation Now has nearly 8 times the amount of games that Xbox Game Pass does. However, unfortunately for PlayStation, that's the only W I think they're gonna get. On the topic of value, PlayStation Now offers games and the ability to play them on PlayStations or PCs. However, Xbox Game Pass offers the ability to play games on Xbox, PC, or mobile devices through Project xCloud. On top of that, Game Pass includes every first-party exclusive, and PlayStation has very little interest in their first-party games being included at launch with PlayStation Now, so the W for value definitely goes to Xbox Game Pass. And on the topic of cost, this is where the conversation gets complicated, because PlayStation Now is $9.99 a month, similar to Xbox Game Pass. However, for Game Pass, a lot of their cool features like xCloud and EA Play, they are exclusive to Xbox Game Pass Ultimate, which is $14.99 a month. And this is where the things get pretty subjective, but for me, I have to give the W to Game Pass. Because despite the service costing $5 more, the features you get with Game Pass Ultimate really tilt the scales in their favor. So now that we've talked about the Netflix style of subscriptions, let's talk about these service subscriptions. Xbox Live, PlayStation Plus, and Stadia Pro have all provided a ton of value for gamers this year, and all of it for the low cost of $9.99 a month. And this is the one that's extremely interesting to me, because despite Game Pass clearly being Xbox's future, the company still has a ton of people paying for Xbox Live. Xbox Live offers you things like multiplayer access, deals with gold, and free monthly games through its service Games with Gold. And unlike Game Pass, any games that you claim with gold are yours for the duration of your subscription. PlayStation Plus includes access to multiplayer gameplay, free monthly video games, exclusive discounts, 100 gigabytes in cloud storage, Share Play, and PlayStation 5 owners will have access to Game Help, Screen Share, and the PlayStation Plus Collection, which includes access to over 20 of the PlayStation 4's best games. And with the PS Plus Collection, it's almost PlayStation seeing the success of Game Pass Ultimate and trying to find a way to create something similar or more appealing on their platform. Stadia Pro, on the other hand, offers you free games each month, access to an existing library of Stadia Pro games, exclusive discounts to Pro subscribers, and 4K resolution. And again, just clarification, Stadia Pro isn't necessary for online play, and any games that you claim, whether the new games each month or games that are in the existing Stadia Pro library, are yours for the duration of your subscription. And when looking at the last 12 months of these services, Xbox Live has given subscribers a total of 48 games for a total value of $1,083.32. PlayStation Plus has given subscribers a total of 28 games for an overall value of $737.72. and Stadia Pro has offered 52 games for a total value of $1,358.50. So when compared to each, Stadia Pro, in its first full calendar year as a service, offered more games at a better value to gamers than PlayStation and Xbox. Now, just like we did with Game Pass and PlayStation Now, I want to break these services down into 3 categories. However, for these services, we are going to use features, value, and cost. And for the first category, features, well, that's going to PlayStation Plus. Because not only are you getting free games each month, but you're also getting access to the PlayStation Plus collection along with Game Help, which if you haven't tried it out yet, completely changes the way that you play video games. However, when moving into the next category of value, well, the W goes to Stadia Pro, because it's very hard to argue that with 52 games at a value of $1,358.50, and just to clarify, 12 months of Stadia Pro is $120. So in the last 12 months, Stadia has given gamers an overall savings of $1,238.50, which is incredible. Now, on the topic of cost, all of these services cost $9.99 a month, which leaves us with PlayStation Plus and Stadia Pro being tied with 2 wins apiece. And like I said earlier, this is clearly pretty subjective, but my personal take on this goes back to the glaring difference in the total number of games and value. PlayStation does offer the PS Plus collection, but that didn't become available until November. So if we are looking at the last 12 months alone, Stadia Pro for $9.99 a month clearly gave you more of a bang for your buck and held its own against PlayStation Plus. But what do you all think? When looking at the last 12 months, which service offered you the best experience? Which do you see offering the best value? Let me know what you think in the comment section down below. Hey, thanks again for checking out our channel. If you like what you saw and you want to see more content just like it, which who wouldn't, hit the subscribe button right there. And while you're down there, hit the like button. Maybe even consider becoming a Nerf Report best friend, just like the people listed down below did. In fact, don't you want to see your name there? I know I do.